Pick up last-minute Valentine's Day gifts, hit the slopes this weekend, and hear all about the latest music, movies, and video games on this episode of Scranton Scope.
Valentine's Day is right around the corner. If you're looking for something special for you or your special someone, a new shop on Biden Street has just what you need.
Pigeon Post Art and Books has a variety of gift items from books and candles to tote bags and flowers. Its official grand opening is tomorrow at noon. Stop by to pick up all your Valentine's Day essentials.
Here's Enzo and Mariah's with their thoughts on the new movies Wicked and Conclave.
So the first movie that we're going to talk about is one with one of the most nominations this season, one of the most popular movies of Oscar season. We're going to talk about Wicked. So Mariah, what are your thoughts on the movie Wicked?
I was really excited about it when I saw it. I will not lie, I was not looking forward to it going into it. I thought it was way too hyped up. I started doing theater when I was in like 5th grade, so about 10 years ago. Okay. That's when they announced that the Wicked movie was happening. So leading up to it, I was like, all right, like it is what it is. If it's taking this long, it better be good. And then when I found out they were splitting it into 2 parts, I kind of had a problem with that for a little bit.
Really?
Because the musical's like 2.5 hours. I've seen it on Broadway, and I'm like, why is this movie longer than the entire Broadway show, but it's only part 1? And I have a problem that it's nominated for Best Picture.
Do you really?
I do.
Wow.
I do.
I think that
Right
when a movie is this technically impressive, like it got 10 nominations, and many of them were technical nominated, like costume design, hairstyling, and makeup, which it's a front runner for a lot of those. It kind of gets into Best Picture automatically.
Yeah.
And it's one of the only, it's very rare in Oscar seasons for a Best Picture nominee to be as well received by the general public as Wicked is. So I think it's always good to have a movie like that in here.
Yeah.
But I will say, I've heard only good things about the musical. I've never seen the musical. I don't know anything about Act 2. I'm trying to avoid spoilers. But when the first trailer came out, I was a little underwhelmed by it, especially by like, I know they're all practical sets, but it just looked like CGI.
Yeah.
And also with the cinematography, I have a little bit of an issue with the lighting. Everything is kind of dull.
Yeah.
I wish it was more saturated. The whites and like the sky are very, very white. It looks kind of overcast a lot of time. Those are my only issues with it. I think that what this movie does is it combines like the magic of a movie musical and of a stage musical and puts it together, I think, perfectly 1-to-1. And so I think it's a worthy spot here. I think that it deserves its length, and I don't think it should win Best Picture, especially because Part 2 is coming out. That'll be interesting to see for next Oscar season.
Yeah, I'm excited to see, like, first of all, how do they publicize it? Because they had an incredible press tour for this one, but you have to keep people just as excited for the one upcoming for an entire year. It doesn't come out until next November.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you make a really good point. Movie musicals have not been well received. Wonka was not well received. The Joker movie, even less well received. Yeah. So I'm excited to see where it goes from here. I will say, I love Best Original Score. Again, kind of have a problem with that because it's only Act 1's music, and I like Act 2's music a lot better, and I think it's going to speak to a lot of people a lot more just because, like, how their relationship evolves a little bit. But Cynthia Erivo deserves Best Leading Actress. I think she did an incredible job. The role of Elphaba is a very difficult one to kind of take in. Just following a lot of the Elphabas on TikTok and everything, it's really hard to kind of capture that role as being very vulnerable, but also like finding her voice. And I think that the scene leading up to Defying Gravity, although a little long for what it should have been,
I think
was incredible.
It's warranted, though.
You think?
Yeah. I think that the length of the songs and the scenes in the movie are warranted. And I think that the standout performance was Ariana Grande's. Personally, I'm rooting for her for supporting actress more than I'm rooting for Cynthia Erivo for lead actress. I just think that it was such a surprising performance. It was so she kind of stole every single scene. And yeah, and obviously, like I said, costume design, the hair and makeup was all phenomenal. The production design was incredible. I think they planted like thousands of real tulips in the field for the thing. Like it wasn't CGI, which I have a ton of respect for. I think that there's a lot going for Wicked.
I think Wicked will definitely like have a run for its money compared to all of these other films that maybe did not have the big theatrical debut. And I like that the Academy has kind of been getting away from that. Like our next movie, Conclave.
Yes.
On Peacock now. streaming if you want to watch it.
Yeah. So it's very rare in this day and age that a PG movie gets nominated for Best Picture. The last time it happened was in 2019 with Greta Gerwig's Little Women. And this year is especially rare because 2 PG movies got in, Wicked and the next one that we're going to talk about, Conclave. Conclave, it's rated PG. It's not really meant for kids. It's a very dramatic, kind of tense movie. But yeah, I didn't know much about it going into it. I just watched it this past week. What were your thoughts on Conclave?
I loved it. I thought it was super fun and dramatic. Our friend wrote a really nice Letterboxd review about it, and what did it read? It was something about the word eminence.
Yeah, he said, I've never heard the word eminence so much in my life as many times as I did in this movie. And it's true. It took a little bit, I will say, to get to know who the names were everyone was doing. I had to check IMDb to see, what are the names lining up here.
Yeah.
But once you get all the characters down, once you get all the situation down, it's a really, really interesting movie. And something that I do like with mainstream movies about topics like religion, they often exploit that edge to give a shock value to, especially when it's a drama like Conclave. And this movie never did that, and I really respect that. It didn't take the easy way out of just doing something to get a rise out of people in this religious group. Instead, it's all character-based, where, this is the world that they exist in, but all these characters are flawed. And it shows the inherent nature of greed and of the flawedness of human beings on every level, and that they need to overcome by the end of the movie. And I thought that was a really, really interesting way to frame it.
And to Enzo's point about the characters, I could not pick up who was whom in this movie, but in the scenes that they vote for who is going to be the next pope, which kind of was like Survivor in a sense.
It was. It was very dramatic.
It was very interesting. They kind of had panned toward everybody. So I highly recommend giving it a watch. I do not think it is going to win about half of what it is nominated for, but I think it will be fun to see how it all works out.
Yeah, and the main one I'm rooting for this movie is Best Lead Actor. I think that is a really deserved, really deserving performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We'll see what we're watching in this upcoming week. I think, what are you hoping for?
I don't know. I'm trying to get my hands on the other Best Picture nominees to round out this season, and can't wait to talk to you next time about more movies.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and back to you, Akila and Sam.
Want to enjoy a fun winter activity? College students can ski all day long at Montage Mountain for just $25 for select nights throughout this season.
This sale is active on Thursdays and Sundays and includes lift tickets and rentals. A valid college ID is required and does not apply on holiday weekends this winter.
Here's Morgan with her report on this big game's halftime show.
All right, everyone, let's talk music. Kendrick Lamar took the world's biggest stage at the halftime Sunday. Though his show was not as much as a spectacle as other previous performances that we've seen, his show sent a message. His songs mainly focused on his new music from GNX, which he released in November after his rap beef with Drake. Lamar threw it back a little bit with performing Humble and DNA, also performing All the Stars where SZA's vocals shined. His televised performance was similar to his concerts, where you have a narrator guiding you through. GNX is his 6th studio album, and it's a little bit more hype than his previous stuff. Going back to Good Kid, Mad City, it's a bit more lyricism and chill and rap, and now it's a bit more hyped up. One thing about Kendrick Lamar is he won a Pulitzer Prize in 2018 because of his storytelling and lyricism. He's also won 22 Grammys and various other awards. Lamar is very influential and continues to use his platforms to send messages. Through his music, Lamar used his performance to kick off his tour with SZA. The Grand National Tour will start in April and will begin in Minneapolis. If you want to see Lamar and SZA in Pennsylvania, you have 2 chances. Philadelphia on May 5th and Hershey on June 16th. Back to you, Sam and Akila.
Thank you, Morgan. Here's Paul with Gamers Corner.
What's up, gamers? Paul here coming at you from the Gaming Corner. This week we've got a good one, Undertale Plus. Yeah, that's right, it's under development. What's that? You know what Undertale Plus is? Undertale Plus is a mod that allows you to have a completely customized Undertale experience, fully colored sprites, widescreen support, and a brand new variety of revamped battle music. Reimagine Undertale like never before with features like visible gear, custom battle backgrounds, and all the console exclusive stuff you can't get on PC. Undertale has never felt so new. Ever felt like playing Undertale with your friends? Well, now you can. As a part of Undertale Plus, we have Undertale Connect Plus. It lets you play with all your friends, make custom skins, and wreak havoc upon the underground. And let me tell you, this Undertale Plus is one of the biggest mod projects I've seen for a game ever. There's a ton of content coming and it all looks awesome. They may not have announced a release date yet, but on their website they have constant updates letting you know what's going on and what's going to be added. Alright, that's all for today. Gamer Paul signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Scranton Scope.
Be sure to tune in to Royals Weekly and The Standings.